knows I'm doing it again. But it's something, that our involuntary behaviors aren't as involuntary as we think they are. They actually can become very heavily manipulated by the environment that we are around. See, your identity is an involuntary reaction of who you think you are. But it isn't as involuntary as a lot of people make it, because people choose to think things about themselves. People choose to believe things about themselves. People choose to hate themselves. Not just because they've done bad things, but because everyone and everything around them is convincing them. People will convince themselves that they are a failure. People will convince themselves that everything that they do is going to mess up or be destroyed or whatever. And they do these things involuntarily. Perhaps there are things in your life that you are doing involuntarily, but you actually are choosing to do them by the culture and the environment that you put yourself into. One of the things that I've always observed as being a pastor is this. When I see individuals who are caught doing things that they know that they don't want to do, perhaps it's things like, has anybody ever overdrawn their bank account? Has anybody chronically overdrawn their bank account for a period of time? Doesn't that suck? You're just like, man, every time I turn around, my bank is overdrawn again. Well, I have found this out about people in poverty, is that a lot of people choose to live in poverty. Poverty is a choice for a lot of people. You might swear up and down, poverty is not a choice. I can't help how much money I make or whatever. For an incredible large amount of people, poverty is a choice. Whether you want to swallow that one or not, for an incredibly large amount of people, poverty is a choice. Not necessarily a choice that they are making. They don't wake up one morning and say, you know what, I want to be poor today. They don't do that. But because of the people that they hang out with, the environment that they are in, the places that they choose to shop, the places where they choose to go, poverty becomes a choice. And it's expensive to be poor. If you've ever realized, if you got to ride the bus, it's expensive, because guess what? Not only is riding the bus expensive, but it dramatically inhibits your ability to work. It dramatically inhibits your ability to work around certain hours. You've got to go to work 2 hours early because that's when the bus will take you there. Or you can tell your boss, I can't work. And what happens is, a lot of people who rely on the bus would rather tell their employer that they can't work than do a ride to work 2 hours early. Poverty is a choice. Poverty is a choice whenever people choose to shop at, the Unimart down the street rather than shopping at the Giant Eagle. I'm going to go pick up milk, it's 3 times the price. Poverty is a choice. Now, that's the thing that I'm talking about here is, see, I don't really shop, I don't shop at convenience stores because convenience stores are more expensive. I don't shop at convenience stores, and realistically, nobody that I really hang out with that often does either. But if I was hanging out with a bunch of people who all looked at me and said, I need some milk, I'm just going to go to the convenience store and get some milk, I might be a little bit more likely to go. And in that circumstance, it can very quickly become actions based off of the environment that you're in, rather than a proactive choice on your own. You following me here? This is kind of like a hypothetical for a moment here. Take that setting and apply it to any other area of your life. A great area is people who smoke cigarettes, that they can't stop smoking cigarettes. And they want to stop smoking cigarettes. But the problem is that they hang out, everybody they hang out with and everyone in their family smokes cigarettes, so it's really hard for them to break the habit. Well, it's an environmental issue. It's coercing your involuntary action. And everything within your body craves that. Because you're surrounded by a lot of people who like it, who choose to be in it. How many people are you surrounding yourself with that are choosing to be in the glory? How many people in your environment are hungry and thirsty for God? Are you letting everybody else just drag you down? I had this really, we had this profound moment this week. Mandy and I have been looking at a house, and we were going to put in a bid on this house, and it's right on the border of Lawrenceville, Oakland, and it's a really nice place. So it was a gorgeous house, but it was not really in the best areas. The house was greatly priced because of that. But after some research, we realized that even though houses 6 to 8 blocks away, that they were the same price for way more, the houses 1 block away were worth nothing. Not even a third of the price of what this person was asking. And the realtor asked me a question. He said, are you going to go in and buy the best house on the junkiest block in town for hopes that the rest of the block is going to catch up to your nice house? And it really hit me really hard, because I thought, how many times do we act like that with our faith? That we have the best faith, but we're going to choose to sit around the filthiest things for hopes that all those filthy things will catch up to the righteousness that God wants to put in us. I think statistics show that more often than not, anything that is like that gets brought down. It's an involuntary thing, based off of the environment that it is around. You see, if you can surround yourself with people that are hungry for God, thirsty for God, you'll find in yourself you become more hungry for God, more thirsty for God. If you can make your identity be as one who hungers and thirsts for God, do you think you're going to hunger and thirst for things after the world? Do you think that when you face that temptation, it's going to be as challenging whenever your identity is involuntary because you are surrounded by people who are hungry? You are surrounded, you are in an environment of people who are hungry and thirsty, and you are constantly being challenged to go deeper. Do you think that temptation is going to have as strong of a grip on you anymore?